Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and you don't really need the soundtrack to it. I'm enough. I've got the young woman Sam here at the moment who's cleaning up for me. Well, with the advice that I was given about taking my medication about 2 hours before my swim, and also the advice the guard gave me about warming up before I did my swim. I was under the impression that swimming was warming up, but clearly not. And now I start my swim slowly. I do a couple of lengths, and then I use a kickboard for a couple of lengths, and then I do a couple more lengths slowly, and I gradually start picking up to my normal pace, to the point that my today's swim went certainly not pain-free, but nothing's pain-free, but enough for me to be able to do it, and I was really pleased about that. And unfortunately the cripple stairs at the swimming pool, excuse me, I don't go swimming in a lift, at the swimming pool, have collapsed, and so although I can get into the pool quite easily, I can't get out, or at least I thought I couldn't. They have this big electric hoist thing that they affix to the concrete and swing it round, and it lowers down, and I get in it. It's like a swing, and anyway, it's all a bit of a palaver, and I suppose a little bit embarrassing, but not really. I just feel a bit of a wally sat there towering above everybody while it swings about. Anyway, so I thought, since the two guards were there, Simon and Nick, I thought, I mean, a woman couldn't do this. The women guards couldn't do this. Perhaps Caroline could, but I don't think any of the others could. I decided I would use the ordinary vertical steps. And basically I swam up to them. Most of the steps are actually in the water and at the right level, so that wasn't too bad. I was able to get up on them, but I had to have Simon pull me off. It's as simple as that, because although I could actually stand on them, I couldn't do anything else. So just with one arm wrapped around his, and he pulled me off as I sort of got out, and that worked out fine. But they're going to have to redo the steps, which are sort of like that. I mean, I still need help with those, but at least I can actually... No, there's two handrails, and I just hold on to those, and they just wait at the top and give me my sticks. I have to say, I guess things have been a bit difficult for me mentally recently, because this pain has really been getting me down, because it doesn't just happen when I'm swimming, it happens at any point, and it can be a bit frightening. But, you know, talking about it either with my doctor or with other friends who have the condition, there's not really a great deal of point in talking with people who don't, because they'll never ever understand. And that isn't meant as a criticism. You people out there who say, oh, well, people don't understand, well, of course they fucking don't understand, because they won't. Unless they've been there, they won't know. It's like, how can you really understand what it's like to be in a desert if you've never been in a desert? You can just sort of get the general gist. It's hot. But other than that, unless you've been there, you don't know. So, you know, there is no earthly point. If you have one of these, you know, painful diseases that's with you all the time, there is absolutely no point trying to get other people to understand. Now, one thing that does work is that you don't all necessarily have to have the same disease in order to understand each other. I get on extremely well with my best friend who has a different disease to me, and you know, she bends my ear about it sometimes and I bend her ear about it sometimes, But we don't bend anybody else's ear about it, because there's not really a lot of point. Particularly, I mean, I have to be really bad before non-pain people know. And strangely enough, it's the supermarket, Tesco's, the security guards, the till staff, the meat counter staff. Amazingly, they know me really quite well, and they can tell whether I'm having a good day or not just from the way I look. And they'll say, "Oh, hello." I said, "Oh, you're having a hard time today," because it shows in my face, it seems. I mean, that's surprising that, you know, just my Tesco's and everybody knows me. But, you know, if you have got this sort of thing, whatever your problem is, and we all have problems, every single one of us, you just make life much more manageable if you just deal with today and no other period of time. No point thinking about tomorrow unless you've got plans. I mean, like, I have to go for a medical on Friday. It's time for no, I'm going to move, and I'm not going to put this on pause, but I have to go for a medical, and I know I've got to go for a medical, so I've timed it. You know, it's all planned, but I don't worry about getting there or anything like that until the day comes. So what I'm trying to say is I have a plan. I have to be at my medical at 10:30 on Friday morning. But I'm not going to worry about it. It's not the thing that's on my mind between now and then. I know that's what I will be doing on Friday, assuming I'm still here. And if I am, then that's what I'll do. But yeah, I made that silly comment, if I'm still here. Now, that's the sort of thing I don't worry about, or try not to. Because, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen an hour from now. I have an idea. I'm going to be sitting here, knitting. But, you know, a bomb might drop. So, you know, to use that oft repeated thing that I think is so often repeated that people just don't take any notice of it, and they don't really know what it means. One day at a time. And, you know, sometimes things can be really bad that you just live within the hour. You can't think beyond that. And it's amazing, if you take your life in tiny, tiny little chunks, how easy it becomes, and it becomes much less stressful. Even if you're a happy bud. This isn't, you know, just for way out freakies like me, who, you know, just can't deal with life. So we have to take it in tiny little chunks. No. Behave yourself, don't be nasty to myself. It's for everybody. You know, oh, you may think you're all right, and you probably are perfectly all right, but it will benefit you too if you were less stressed. We could all do with being less stressed. And one of the things that we do is we worry. We worry about tomorrow. Even worse, we worry about other people when it's none of our fucking business. Oh, it's only because I care about you. It's not, it's because you're an interfering busybody. Basically, when people say that, what they actually really want is that they want you to live your life the way they want you to live it. And God help you if you're their son or daughter. Do you know, it's funny, but I know people my age who moan and groan about their parents who still try and order their life. And yet these friends of mine have children of their own, and guess what they do? Try and order their children's lives, because they know better than their children do. Dear, dear me. You know, and they don't see what they're doing. Anyway, you can probably see this little movement of my hand. I'm knitting. See, that's one sock. And this is its pair. It is. I was drunk when I did these. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. But this is quite deliberate. You see, they started off orange, and they're going to turn gradually this colour. And these started off this colour and are gradually going to go orange. Why not? It's a wank I painted, a stank, what do they call them? A blank I painted by hand. And, or did I spray them? I might have sprayed them, can't remember. Anyway, when I was winding my balls off, I didn't, I forgot to wind one of the balls twice, so that I'd be starting with the same colour. And then I thought of some people who are very, very attached to having socks that match, and it made me laugh. And I thought, right, I'm just going to leave them as they are and give these people something to worry about, because their lives are just so empty. All they really care about is whether their socks match, if only. Mary Grace is 2 weeks away from having her puppies. She's technically 2.5 weeks away from having her puppies, but she won't go full term. One, because I've never yet had one go full term, ever. And this is the only time I've ever had a bitch that's only ever had mating once. But, you know, I just feel really strongly about this breeding, because it was very much a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was like I heard this voice telling me in my head, mate it now. I was in I was showing her. I was actually in the class. She's in season, of course. And it was like I heard a voice that said, mate this bitch now. And I knew I had to. It was, I don't know if you ever get feelings like this, but it was just such a strong feeling. And then I thought to myself, well, who the hell am I going to mate it to? And as quick as a flash, this dog's name came into my mind, Yankee. Well, I know Yankee, but nobody else does. Or, you know, maybe one or two people do. It's a beautiful dog, would have been made a champion had he ever been shown, but he hasn't. And I remembered the person's phone number, despite the fact that I hadn't called them on the telephone for a long, long time. You know, more than a couple of years. And anyway, they had one quick shag, just in time, and the scan shows she's got 6 puppies. What I'm hoping for is a boy out of this, because he would suit the other girls that I've got. And one would have thought that something good's going to come out of this, because I really am not one for following hunches like this. I tend to worry things to death about making decisions. I'm not that good at doing... Well, I suppose I've become better as time's gone on. But, you know, I tend to think, oh, but what if... And I've tried not to do that. But this time, you know, I just really followed a hunch. And it's a very strong hunch. So let's wait and see what happens. I wish this weather would make up its mind what it's frigging doing. It's the 2nd of November and it's supposed to be cold. And it isn't. It's sunny and it's warm. And I have been busy. Do you know, I got up... Oh, there. Because I managed to lose over 8,000 songs or so. About 300 gigabytes worth of music. And I still don't know how I did it, but I did it. And anyway, I'm in the process of re-recording it all. I bought a special disc to put it all on. And that's how I lost it all in the first place. I don't know what I did. I know I must have done something. And rather clever of me, because I had this nice new disc and I'd put all my music on it. I then deleted it off the old discs before checking that everything on the new disc was fine. And the new disc is fine because everything else I put on it is all there. But somehow or other I fucked up doing this. But there we are. Now, getting back to this one day at a time, it's a concept I came across many years ago, and as silly as it may sound, one of the most practical ways that it helped me, and it was when I began to grasp what it meant, I used to travel by bus in those days. I didn't drive. And I used to get very antsy waiting for buses. And I'd stand there and I'd get more and more worked up, and I'm thinking, where's this frigging bus? And oh, it's been this long, and oh, for fuck's sake, I'm going to be late. And you know, and then it dawned on me, after learning about this concept, was that all that was a complete and utter waste of time. It was hurting me. God knows what it was doing to my... Well, it was certainly not doing me any good. And in the end I thought, it doesn't matter what you think, the bus will get here when it gets here. And all you cursing and worrying and fretting is not going to make it get here any quicker. So I relaxed about it. It's basically about relaxing. It's not about pretending that the world isn't the way it is. You know? That's what a lot of people say, and they think all that this is sort of New Age thinking. And I mean, I quite agree that a lot of this New Age stuff is wanky. You know, and people are complete tossers. And some of the nonsense they believe in. However, if it makes you relaxed, fine. Because that's what it's about. And if it makes you treat other people well, fine. And if it makes you love and treat yourself well, fine. But really, get a grip. I find it very difficult to keep a straight face sometimes. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I think, oh God, what an arrogant twat. You know, when I hear somebody giving a talk and they say, oh, when I was doing my gardening this afternoon, I was having a little chat with the Archangel Michael, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck off. Or words to that effect. Because I really can't stand that sort of ponciness. And I just think, how arrogant can you be? And then at other times it just makes me giggle when I'm in my kinder moods. I find it difficult with that, because to me it's no different than religious fundamentalism. It's the same sort of nonsense, and they think the same way. The New Age people, you see, they think they're so anti-Christian fundamentalism, or any sort of fundamentalism, and they're not. They're just fundamentalists about New Age stuff. You know, Marianne Williamson and Louise Hay and all those other delightful ladies who are earning a lot of money out of miserable people and leading them up the garden path, as far as I'm concerned. I really object to both of those people and what they teach. One I've had personal experience of, and the other I went off when I read her You Can Heal Your Life, and she blames gays for having AIDS. Because we hate ourselves, that's why we have AIDS, and she seemed to miss the fact that there are millions of Africans with it. So I thought she talked a load of shit, and I still do, and I've never read the book again to see whether she's now removed it or not. But quite how anybody could read that book and not find it objectionable, I don't know. I'm afraid I'm not one of these people that believes that you ought to be blamed for your diseases, and that, you know, it's all your fault, and if only you would think yourself better, you would be better. You know, the amount of people that have died of cancer full of guilt and shame because they haven't been able to think themselves well. These people have an awful lot to answer for, in my opinion. And anyway, you don't need gurus. All you need to do is learn a few basics. And I mean, I've read all sorts of things, and I needed to read every single one of the ones I read, even if I only, in the end, decided they were a load of crap. But that's how education goes. Sometimes you have to read the crap in order to read, you know, to figure out what the good stuff is. The stuff that's really helpful. Gosh, 20 minutes goes really fast. That's how long I've been prattling on for. But anyway, that's it. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to do with this sock, just for the hell of it. I've done socks before where the back of it's been ribbed but the front's been plain. Well, the back of this sock's going to be plain and the front's going to be ribbed, just for a change. Anyway, bye.